All right, so you can clearly see a lot directly on the screen, right? So the main reason I wanted to bring up this topic originally, I was going to do it in a live stream format, but then I couldn't really make up my mind on if I was going to do it or not, so I did it in a video format. So this is, of course, dealing with James Earl Jones. And in some of the comments, especially some of the things online, you've heard, or you will happen to hear Black women stating their dislike for James Earl Jones because of comments he made some 60 plus years ago, right? And the main thing that I look at it is as I don't really care, right? It's a different timeline, it's a different period. That's, whatever people thought during that time, that's what they thought. I'm not going to, in a sense, try and look up or research certain things about older people from an older generation, Black people, and try to use that as to condemn said people. Because, as I've stated to people before, there are a variety of other Black people out there that have said disparaging or whatever comments about Black people as well. And people aren't going to look up or try to redirect or try to list or make TikToks directly about any of those things. They're going to let that just be that. That's what that person's thought process was. That's who they were. That's it. So this was the post that I had directly on the channel, right? And I had two commenters directly on a post. One of them said, clickbait, he left all of his wealth to the white community, right? And I said, how is it clickbait? He is a legend, which is true. You're worried about his money as if he owed you in some type of way, which again is true. She's stating this as if she was going to get some type of share or any proceeds or whatever you want to label it as. She acted as though that she was going to get something specifically from his money, from his wealth, from everything that he created. And realistically, she wouldn't. She wouldn't even see or hear or know what was going on directly with that money. So she came back and stated, your logic is dusty. And, the funniest thing about this is that whenever I've commonly just tried to put logic to things, right, to let people know, like, hey, you're worried about the wrong situation. You're worried about something that doesn't have anything to do with you at all, especially when it deals with somebody else's money. Maybe you should, in a sense, calm down and focus on your own finances, your family's finances, that generational wealth or getting that started, right? This is normally the type of comment that I would receive, right? Especially if it is a Black woman. I would be, listed as anything negative directly under the sun, including the terminology dusty, which I don't see how that would actually make me dusty, but whatever, right? Again, I'm not worried about his money. I'm just focused on the fact of this is somebody that I grew up on. I know him as Darth Vader. I know him as the Lion King. Like that is, the main thing among other roles that he has played as well, right? So another person came up and said he hated Black women, right? I responded, yes, Black women getting mad about comments from 60 years ago or whatever time ago. Funny how people started this up when a Black man dies. Wish all the people talking would have had this problem or brought it up when he was alive and well. No anger during Star Wars or the Lion King eras. Seems like selective outrage. She responded, who's mad? I made a statement and you are projecting your own Black woman hatred, which is obvious from the dissertation. If you were as educated as you pretend to be, you would see Black women have been talking about this when he was alive. Selective memory, I guess. So in my response to her, it would seem as though, again, as I stated, it's selective outrage, because Black women have the power to get anybody canceled. Well, if they're a Black man, have the power to get him canceled, blackballed, what have you. So if Black women were really, really adamant and felt this type of way about James Earl Jones, the Lion King would not have been what it is today. And especially him being the voice of Darth Vader in the 70s, it just would not have been that, right? Because black women would have rallied, they would have been out there, they would have been vocal, and they would have been shaking down some trees to make sure, like, hey, we're not going to stand for any of the stuff that you're putting out or saying directly about us. We're going to make sure that you're not making any more money. But that's not what happened. She's trying to say, black women were vocal, but not vocal enough, obviously. And it seems as though that this only gets mentioned when he is gone, when he's dead, when he's no longer able to speak or even have a conversation specifically about this at all. And the fact that she wanted to state that I'm projecting, it's not a projection. It's the fact that I educated myself on actually researching, which is looking things up online. And I found the fact that black women are online talking about James Earl Jones. Nowhere in my statement did I say that she was the one doing it. I said black women, right, are getting mad at the comments. So she decided to take that personal, even though I did not specifically call her out. I didn't specifically put her name and said, you as a black woman are getting mad, at this comment and yada, yada, yada. And then she wanted to also state that I have some type of hatred towards black women. Again, this is another comment that I've gotten, again, over the years, no matter what subject matter or how it is that I vocalize my opinion about a variety of things in the black community. There's a difference between critiquing and not liking how somebody is critiquing versus somebody who has all and out hatred. And I stated again, if I had any type of hatred for black women, again, I wouldn't have black female moderators. I wouldn't have black women in my lives at all. I just wouldn't. So, it's a little bit confusing on how it is that people want to, quote unquote, say that I'm projecting when it seems that they themselves may be the ones doing the projecting, and how it is that they actually internalize and feel about black women and also themselves as well. And again, as I stated before, these are comments that were stated from, for me, eons ago. And if she's stating that this happened during the 90s, your age is obviously showing, because obviously I wasn't old enough. That's it. So obviously you should have more of a memory directly about that. And maybe you should have been one of the main ones out there on the lines trying to make sure that he was not going to be as famous, that he was not getting any type of role. You should have been the main one out there to making sure to stop any and all money coming directly his way. But you're not. You're here in the comment section online, and you're just talking, which is crazy. Again,
James Earl Jones passed. And before y'all get on this app and y'all start crying and being upset, Google what he said about black women. I've been waiting for, he was 93. It was inevitable. But, we see those old pictures of James Earl Jones. He's Mufasa. But a lot of people don't know his views and his takes on black women. It's sad. It's a legacy that's gone. But just remember what he said about us. So I can't be that.
Listen, James Earl Jones didn't know me either, but that didn't stop him from talking about me and my mama and my aunties and my grandma and my sisters, right? So him. Rest in If you want to rest peacefully, maybe live peacefully.
Shout out to the people that made it this far in the video. So you were able to hear the two examples that I gave you about black women online, specifically speaking about James Earl Jones, right? The last one, she wanted to take it ultra personal, as if James Earl Jones specifically knew her, was pointing her out, talking about her, vilifying her. Like I said, that it doesn't make any type of sense. I get when people disagree maybe you might slightly feel a certain type of way, but you're taking it all the way personal to heart as if he physically was a part of your family and he looked you dead in the face and he was just saying the most horrendous and vile things directly to you. Again, it sounds completely crazy. And this is when a lot of people happen to use the terminology that some people want to be victims. Because again, James Earl Jones doesn't know who this woman is at all. It's not even on his radar. She probably wasn't even around during the time at all. And then the craziest thing is the first one. She literally said that she was waiting for this moment and she was smiling throughout the whole video. It was like, yeah, I was waiting for this to happen. I mean, it was only a matter of time anyway. I'm like, why would you, like, I'm a little bit confused. I'm a little bit confused. And again, it's quite weird to see people do things like this, right? It's not like we're talking about some type of a dictator or somebody who was just doing the most horrible things throughout the Black community and causing the conditions that we're in, causing the problems and, you know, stripping everything away from Black people. That's not what we're talking about. You're clearly like this over an opinion that happened before you were born. And you're acting as though like you are so hyped and ecstatic for this moment with James Earl Jones to take place. Like I said, I don't know what to tell people. And I've primarily seen this take place whenever it is a Black man that passes and you have women out there that disagree with the opinion or the things that he is stating. Case in point, you have Black women doing this with Kevin Samuels. During his passing, for months, you had Black women just, you know, laughing it up, cheering it up. They were up there stomping the yard, dancing, saying all types of things, right? And these same women were never vocal, realistically, when he was alive. When he had his platform, when he was running the show, when they could easily call in at any point in time to have a debate. Because, like I said, the dude was flying in and out all over the country. So at any point in time, any of the women who were just so ecstatic for the passing of Kevin Samuels, they could have debated him. They could have had a conversation. They could have called in, but they didn't want to because they knew how that conversation was going to go and they weren't going to like it, right? They were going to try to run the show, and that's not what's going to take place, right? If you're going to have a conversation, you're going to have a conversation. But again, a lot of the women that disagree with Kevin Samuels never wanted to have a conversation. They just want to be the loudest ones in the room, and they always want to be right. They never want to be corrected at all. Anything that they say is gold or it has to be gold. And if you disagree with it, then that means that you hate Black women in general. And that's crazy to me. That's a crazy, insane type of logic to have. But like I said, you know, it is what it is. So this is a piece from a magazine, right? This is from the Great Eartha Kitt. Person asks, do you think you face a lot of resentment just because you are married to a white man? Eartha Kitt said, oh yes, that's because the resentment. I was married to Bill McDonald in 1960. People would say, why didn't you marry a Black man? I would reply, because the white girls had them. The men I wanted to be with, Sidney Poitier, Harry Belafonte, dated predominantly white women. I'm talking about the 50s. When Harry Belafonte picks me out of his bed in Philadelphia and said, I don't want you to take me seriously because no Black woman can do anything for me. I could not help him to progress into where he was going to go. A Black woman would hold a Black man back. That's what he told me. If I wanted to marry a Black man, there wasn't one because the white girl had. Now, again, this is from a different timeline where the epitome of, in a sense, making it, you had to, in a sense, date other. That, or at least that was the general consensus. You made it if you had a Caucasian significant other. If you really wanted to make it, you couldn't sit up there and showcase Black love or anything like that. Now, I'm not mad at any of the statements directly here. It just is what it is. The one thing that I do want to state is the fact that you have Eartha Kitt stating that, hey, the black men that she wanted to date it, she could not do because they were all interested in white women. So she went her way and both of those men went their own way. The interesting part about that one statement that I don't think a lot of people picked up on was the fact that Eartha Kitt specifically stated that these are the men that she wanted. Now, she didn't look at the rest of the black men directly out there. I guess she may have potentially found them undesirable. It doesn't matter if the dude was working class or he might have been a banker or what have you. She was specifically looking for men who are in the industry. Two black men, leading black men during that time, were both a part of the industry. They all had their names directly alike, starring in all types of roles and so on and so on. People, they were pretty much household names. Those are the guys that she wanted. She did not care for, nor was she looking in the direction of any other black man. I promise you that more than likely, if she would have looked in a different direction, not saying that she would have had to go and date an everyday guy, but she could have dated a black man that was a banker, somebody that was a firefighter, somebody that was a part of Congress or what have you. There were other black men out there who were capable in their own fields, making a lot of money, that she could have been married to, had a family with, and so on, but she selectively chose what she selectively chose. Just like the two black men that she listed selectively chose what it is that they selectively chose. And again, that was an honest conversation that a black man and a black woman had. And we can clearly see where both parties separated ways and how it is that both parties moved. Again, I'm not mad at any of those people at all. I was not even in existence. I didn't have anything to do with the situation, nor would I decide that I'm going to internalize that conversation and try to make it about me or whatnot or whatever. Again, my main point is this. At the end of the day, people are free to date whoever it is that they want to sit up there and date. As long as you don't have people that want to horrendously try to down talk and muddy the name of black people, everything is fine. And again, going back to the whole thing with James Earl Jones, that was a critique and an opinion that he had of during that time. That was back during the time of what? You had the civil rights, you had the Black Panther Party, you had the possibly even during the time of the feminist movement. I'm not sure of the specific date, but I know it was probably somewhere in there. Yeah, there was a variety of things going on. There were a variety of conversations happening with black women and black men. There were a variety of things going on with the black community. So again, I'm looking at it as a conversation from a bygone era. And again, for me at least, I can't sit up there and decide to waste time and get angry about something that you can't change, that you can't fix. You're not going to go back in time and insert yourself directly in that conversation just so that you can have an uproar. As I've told you before, there are many more things of today that people should be focused in on and worried about. But people choose, again, what it is that they want to be angry about. And if there's a point in time that people can find a way to get angry at a black man for any reason, they're going to find it and they're going to waste and spend that time directly. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video, or if any of this stuff made any type of sense to you guys in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.